here talking to you today. I got your mails and your messages. A lot of messages came to my inbox talking about dead weight and how you'd still need some clarifications. So I decided to get my friend Shammah. Shammah, say hi.
Hi everyone. Shammah.
So Shammah is a CEO. He's a really nice person. Don't worry, I'm going to leave his Instagram page and links to his website in the comment section, because he's somebody you really need to get to know, especially if you're a young person trying to get to know who you are and know yourself and find yourself. A lot of times you feel scared to talk to somebody like that, that's really old, because you think that they would give you old school advice. But Shammah is a young guy and he's really interested in helping people discover themselves,
impacting people's lives.
Exactly. So
I'm an environmentalist.
Exactly. He's so passionate about those things. He's also a historian, which is really amazing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you haven't liked and subscribed, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and please share. If this video has done something really nice for you, please share it with somebody that you know would like to hear what we're talking about. Okay, so we're going to jump into the interview right now because Shammah has a lot to tell you. All right, stay tuned. Okay, hi Shammah.
Hi,
so at what stage did you start to get intentional about the kind of people that you should have around you? At what stage did you start taking note of the kind of people that you want to have around you?
I'll say from when I was a teenager, I was always conscious of the amount, the kind of friends I had, and I think it had to do with my family upbringing. We were very cautious about, but when I was more intentional was in my early 20s, and I started noticing people with different character traits, different vices, and different, just different habits that they did, some people. So when you're growing, you just learn to know, okay, these are the kind of people I should be around, these are not the kind of people I should be around, because sometimes your friends say like more of you than you even know. The kind of people you are around tells a lot about you.
Okay, so how do I say this now? How did you start figuring out, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, these are the kind of friends I want, these are the kind of friends I don't want in my life? How did you start? Does it start from figuring out where you want to be?
I think for me it started out from a place of things I can control. It started out as things I can control, because you can't control everything. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control every narrative of every story. So in order to control some narratives, when you limit yourself like to certain people, knowing that this relationship is going to have a negative impact on my life, then it reduces the how would I say, casualty, or like whatever story wants to spiral out from that situation. So by realizing people's bad behaviors and people's bad traits, and I just want to say that not everybody starts out bad, and but sometimes in life,
life happens.
Being on planet Earth here, there's some people that they don't mean bad, but like some things they do, it just had a bad undertone to it, and like it just affects your life like grossly and negatively. So you learn to see those traits in people, and sometimes there's some people that you love them from a distance. You love them from a distance, and you just hey, what's up? But once it just passes hey, and it's where are you, what's up, it can be something they say, it can be something they do, it can be just something happens, and it's just like, oh my god, this is not something I want to be around. So you learn to limit your time, your space, and who you open up to and who you give yourself to, because accessibility is a very precious thing that people need to actually like safeguard, because if you're too accessible, it can be a problem, and if you're not too accessible as well, it can also be a problem. So you need to actually like learn how to balance that stuff, and that's when you for me, like I said, it was what I say. It was learning how to control that made me start making those decisions. Because some people, you learn from experience as well. Because you see certain things happen to certain people, like let's say something happens with somebody who was always with someone, and that person is not really that kind of person, but just because he was affiliated with that person, that thing happens and he's involved in that situation because of that. So but if he had limited or restricted himself from that situation, that thing might not have happened. So by controlling his time he spends with that person, I mean, the outcome could have been totally different. So for me, I just like to control certain narratives about myself. People always talk about you. It doesn't really matter what they say, but if you can learn how to control those, narratives and those time calls and all those things. So being around people that are dead weights, you just learn how to have to control those things so that you wouldn't saturate yourself with a lot of
negative energy.
Exactly. So
okay, so are you saying that you just cut them off, like completely, or like how do you? Because I know, a lot of young people want to know, how do I start getting rid of these people who have been a part of my life for a long time?
okay.
I mean, young people coming up, teenagers especially, will be wondering, okay, how do I separate myself from these people that I'm already used to?
Yeah.
So do you start by cutting them off completely, or what?
There are some situations that can be very emotional, and you might want to cut them off. But sometimes I like to think about it like going grocery shopping, in the sense that you write a list and say, these are the things I'm going to buy. But when you actually get into the shop, you now see some other stuff that you didn't want to buy. Like, I don't really need this, but you just buy it.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's
I
like,
do that a lot.
yeah. So it's like with people, sometimes you're like, okay, I don't need this person. But like sometimes like, okay, like I might just need this person. Do you understand? But you just learn to know the ones that affect you adversely, like that this one is a no-no. Like this one is just going to affect my life. So those are the ones that you kind of like, okay, I'm cutting this person off because the impact this person has on my life is very
negative.
It's very negative, and it affects me. It affects the individual, like the person. So it's some people you need to actually there's no manual for saying who you should cut off and who you shouldn't cut off. There are some people that just don't care. They just cut off any and anyone. But I don't think that should be the case. I think some people should be given chances, and I believe in second chances, because on my own journey to self-discovery, I too might have hurt some people, and some people have given me second chances and some people have not, and some people have not. So it's like when you put your place in a place of self-evaluation and look at yourself as a person, which I believe people should do frequently, you should always be able to see yourself growing, and if you're not growing, then there's a problem. So by putting yourself in that space, you would see where you need growth. And for some people who don't do that, it's difficult for people who do that, because those people just live their life day to day. Like they don't really check those things, and there are some people who can't live with people like that. So that's why I say sometimes you love them from afar. Like, you don't have to block them, you don't have to delete their number, but you just have their number and you're like, just like, okay, like, what's up? Oh, you see them somewhere, you're like, what's up, how are you? I'm fine. Yeah, but I don't believe that you should totally just block them out. But there's some situations.
But you don't have to invest all your energy.
You don't have to invest your energy, you don't have to invest your time, your money, your credit, everything, emotions, because being with these people, it can stifle, marginalize, twist, complicate a whole lot of things in your head, and we wouldn't want that, because we are trying to self-improve here, and that's what we're about.
Okay, so you guys have heard it. Focus on self-improvement. Sit down with yourself and talk to yourself. What do I need? What do I not need in my life?
Write it down if possible. Stuff like that.
Write it down if possible. And
set goals, set targets.
Yeah. So at what age? Let's say a teenager is asking, at what age do I start doing this?
I mean, from a teenage, I believe that in the teenage age or teenage years is a period of inquisition. Like you're so inquisitive during those times. So you read a lot. You know, that's where you form opinions. Teenagers and early,
and even
values, things that you learn from your family and all that stuff. So I think from your teenage years should be a time where you start to evaluate your friends, who know who your real friends are. Like me, like my closest friend, we have been friends like God knows, I don't even know how long, but it's been at least 10, 15 years. So it's been a long time. So you just have to know. You just have to know who is for you and who is not. Because some people, it's in the actions, it's in what they say. You understand? So you don't have to always, human beings lie a lot. You know. So you don't really have to always believe what people tell you. You always have to discern for yourself. You know, not being paranoid. There's a difference between being paranoid and discerning different things. I can tell you, oh Esther, I like your dress, and you say, oh thank you. Another person can say, oh Esther, I like your dress, and you feel something different. Why? Because you discern something like it's like
different,
exactly, but it's the same statement. So when you're able to know the difference between what's good and what's bad for you, it has to do with maturity and growth as well. So I think like
all right, thank you very much, Shammah, for your time.
No problem.
And I know you have to rush to watch your match. So guys, we have heard it from Shammah. He says protect your mental energy, protect yourself in terms of your dreams and your goals, and don't totally block people out, but be careful and mindful of the kind of people that you invest in terms of your energy, your airtime, your time. You know, your time is very precious. Time is money, like I always say. You know, so please like, please subscribe, and if this video has touched you in any way, please comment in the comment section. Tell me how this video has touched you. Tell me what's that one thing that you learned in this video. So from me to you, I love you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.